Yes, sir. So, with the perspective of regulatory boards, that's the fifth module we are about to start today. Into the compensation management, regulatory boards are quite important because when we are going to fix it up wages, salary, truly speaking, it is biggest amount of question: is that sufficient for that geographical area? Is that sufficient for that particular set of labors? That's a kind of question. So probably when we are going to start working with respect to the concern of many of the people, one who are working into the consideration of machine tools. So truly speaking, by the age when they are going to cross nearly around 40 age, they have to get promotion to reach the level of supervisor. Otherwise, their muscle power may not be able to match with the requirement of those amount of machine tools, what they are going to carry, how they are going to manage with that particular ground level work. Correct? So the wages supposed to be enhanced to that person. Then how much of the wages supposed to be enhanced? Is that wage supposed to be fixed up based upon experience of the person, or else the merit based? A number of questions were there. Okay, now for everything there is one of the common solution is being given, that is about wage board. So these authorities they are going to take a call concerned with when we are going to take the consideration of all these people employees, basically how we are going to consider them, and how we are going to fix the wages, and what exactly the layers we are going to create. Layers in the sense, it's about promotion hierarchy. Okay, so how exactly we are going to create everything, that's going to be the decision of wage board authorities. Okay, so it is one of the triplicate body basically. So a triplicate body of one thing is employers, they are the owners of the organization. Second thing is about labor union. Okay, so labor union is a group of employees who are going to join together and commute themselves with the name label name to be called union. Okay, and second thing is about independent members. So now, sir, employers we understood and labor union we understood. Who are all these independent members? That's a question. So basically, second paragraph which is going to explain independent members. These are all nominated by central organizations or else by the government. Okay, so government is going to give allotment of their own ministers, their own members for every amount of the organizations in that particular geographical area. Okay, and the second thing is about labor and management representatives are also being maintained equally. So what exactly this proportion we need to maintain? That's a kind of question with most of the students. Truly speaking, equivalently, that is one of the major point. Okay, so what do you mean by equivalently? Is that 1:1 ratio? Yes, correct. Okay, so that 1:1 ratio supposed to be there, the representatives of labor as well as management representatives. Okay, so that's the reason in case if you do have around 10 directors, you will be having 10 representatives of this labors also in the meeting for the wage board, what I'm discussing here. Okay, and there is no proportion with respect to the concern of these independent members. So even independent member is one is sufficient from the government side. Okay, just to tackle, just to handle that situation, whether that is justifiable or not. Clear? Okay, so this is how exactly the wage board is going to be taken into the consideration. Okay, and one who is going to be the nominated member by the government, he is going to be acting as like a chairman for this wage board, and he is going to be acting as like a judge for that particular momentum. Okay, so how exactly this wage board is going to function? Then who is going to run all these activities, and why it is going to take its own importance? For all these things, answer is functions of wage board. Okay, the first thing is wage board is quite important because they are going to recommend what exactly the minimum wage supposed to be. So assume that probably minimum wage what you're going to fix it up, On that grounds, we are going to start calculating 30% of DA should be there, maybe 25% to 30% of CCA, city compensatory allowance is supposed to be there. Then about HR allowance is supposed to be there. Even concerned with respect to that dearness allowance supposed to be there. So whatever we are going to discuss, that every allowances are completely based upon this minimum wage, what we are going to fix it up. Okay, and that also gets differ from one geographical area to another. Okay, based upon its own capacity, its own lifestyle, its own spending habit. Okay, so that's the reason recommendation of minimum wages will be made by this wage board. That's the first function. Second thing is about living compensation. Sir, just now we people have discussed about minimum wage. What is this living compensation is all about? See, basically, differential cost of living compensation, it is all about the consideration of that particular group of employees. Okay, so this recommendation of minimum wage is based upon the geographical space, what we have discussed. That and second point is completely different. Okay, second point is such like where living compensation, that also gets differ from the layers to layers. Okay, so whatever we people have discussed the hierarchy, maybe in this lower hierarchy, what you have made a minimum wages at the same level, worker and supervisor, you need to make a differentiation, because when the worker is going to become supervisor, when the supervisor is become assistant manager, surely even his personal life also is going to get expand. Now you are understanding the theme clearly, that maybe his children have been grown up, where probably when he was working as like a particular wage earner, when he has been joined into the organization, probably now his children has been reached to collegiate level, where the fee structure is being enhanced. Correct? Okay, so absolutely, however he is getting promotions, his minimum wages layer also supposed to get changed. That is the thing of cost of living compensation. Okay, third thing is about regional wage differentials, that we have discussed just now into the first and second point. We have made a combination regional wise. Okay, so fourth point is about gratuity. So do you need, or else is it so essential to have this gratuity in any of the organization? For what reason we need to maintain this? Anyway, PF is there, Provident Fund is there. Okay, then why gratuity is so essential? See, gratuity, it is one of the gratitude of the organization. Through this, they are going to showcase that their gratitude towards the employee, that for so and so many years he's been worked in the organization, his sincerity is being showcased in the organization. Okay, when he can able to draw the gratuity, if he is going to retain over there at least for 5 years, then only that employee is eligible to withdraw gratuity. Otherwise, it is not going to clearly showcased as like his sincerity is not being shown towards the continuation in his job in the same organization. Now you got the point clearly. Okay, that's the reason gratuity is most important. Gratuity is going to showcase, it's going to be acting as like a window where he in the sense employee is showcasing his gratitude towards organization by showcasing his sincerity. That's the reason organization is paying something for him, and every month that gratuity amount is being kept in the government lockers as like a PF amount. Even gratuity amount also is being kept. Hours of work, yes, hours of work is going to get differ from one industry to another industry. So probably when we are going to start working with respect to the concern of maybe a small ancillary industries, maybe 8 hours 10 hours job is more than sufficient. Whereas some of the industries where their work is all about that production, and they need to work hard at least for 12 hours. Don't you think so that this 8 hours 10 hours 12 hours, that basic salary is supposed to get changed? Yes, it is very much essential to have a differential wage policies based upon their hours of work. That's the reason this wage board is so important. They are going to take the leadership, they are going to take the decisions. Okay, even about the concern of the workers for wage fixation. Do we need to make a categorization in that wage fixation for the workers is a question, and answer is yes. Whatever the layers we have created, we are trying to categorize them into that either experience based or else merit based. We are categorizing them and we are fixing up the wages. Okay, and work out wage structure based upon principles of fair wages. Sir, what exactly is this fair wage principles all about? Truly speaking, fair wage principles are clearly explaining the concept of how and why we need to make this comment of this particular wage. First thing, meals per day supposed to be fulfilled for his family members. Family definition is there: husband, wife, his parents, his children, together named to be called family. Okay, first thing, family members food need to be feeded properly. Second thing, their functional activities of the family need to be taken care by this particular wage earner. Second thing, what I'm discussing. Okay, so it has certain principles in that a star marked things only I'm discussing with you people. Okay, so we need to maintain those principles of fair wage system, then only he can able to survive. He, in the sense employee, can able to survive. If employee is surviving, then he can take care about organization properly 24/7 very easily. You understand the theme clearly. He is not going to get the pressure from the home as like a school fee supposed to be paid, or else house rent need to be paid, electricity bill supposed to be paid. He's not going to get all these kind of pressures from home because he's getting sufficient wages, fair wages. You got a point clearly. Okay. Now the questions will be there from the students as such like, sir, I have provided a house at free of cost to my employees. Yes, if you are offering that house at the free of cost, maybe water bill need not to be paid, house rent need not to be paid, electricity bill need not to be paid. Yes, cut off that much amount of wage. Don't worry. Anyway, you're giving house at free of cost. Correct? Many of the organizations, they are going to make this kind of facilities to their employees. Okay, so you need to work out with that particular perspective. The last point is work out the principles of bonus also. See, bonus is going to boost up the morale of any of the employee. Okay, so how much of the bonus I am going to fix it up, and the bonus principles we have discussed in the fourth module itself. Okay, so as according to bonus principles, we are trying to stimulate the employee. First thing, for his hard work. Second thing, for his efforts which is being put for getting the organizational benefits. Okay, so organization is not acting as like a greedy here. Organization is expecting certain amount of outcome, and that outcome is being reached by this employee. That's the reason this employee is eligible for bonus and incentives. Okay, so if you are going to run this show, then your efforts are all good. Okay, the functions of wage board we have discussed. Okay, so in the next session we're going to discuss about compensation management in multinational organizations.